Hello everyone, welcome to the Captain Logan Show. It's me, Captain Logan, and joining me as always is my son, Jason, who's going to chat, moderate, and co-host with me as always. Jason, we have not had a big year yet for the Captain Logan Show. I think we've done one since the year started. Things have not worked out as they usually do for this show, but we are back finally on a Wednesday night to talk to you for a couple of hours about goings on in the popular culture and to answer fun and interesting and silly questions from you, the audience, about whatever within reason you'd like us to chat about. Tonight we're gonna ostensibly, allegedly, we're gonna try to do some Q&A. We don't have any comments yet, and we'll see if folks want to ask us things. So we might end up doing the lead-in topic. I was going to say the lead-in topic earlier than we were going to. It wouldn't be a lead-in topic at that point. But I was going to talk about the Masters of the Universe trailer later in the program. But we'll probably front-load it now. So we'll start as we always do with a Patreon question. And then we'll talk about that trailer, which came out now a couple of weeks ago. We didn't get to it last week because I had a lot going on last week. I had to skip the show, and we ended up not having very many shows at all last week because of weirdness happening in the family. We lost a dog last week.
We did.
It was really sad. Our dog Artemis, who's been with us for 8 years, passed away on Friday, and that was a real weird whirlwindy kind of day where I had to rush her out to the animal hospital, and she was having breathing problems, and I could not have imagined that a few hours later we were going to lose her, and so that kind of upended that day and the weekend. And of course, I wanted to spend time with my family and deal with that. But the kids are taking it pretty well. Obviously, we're all sad. I mean, we love that dog, and our other dog is also very sad. Apollo, who was just joined with her at the hip, and I think is right now starting to go through a grief period where, like, he was just confused initially, and now I think he's starting to, like, really mourn it. I think he's got now the sense that she's not coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know. You always wonder, like, you try to get in the head of a pet.
Yeah.
And it's like, how long does it take them to figure out what's actually happened, and do they ever really understand it?
Yeah.
You know, because obviously a dog doesn't have a great deal of vocabulary.
Right.
And so no matter what you try to say to the dog or say around the dog, he's probably not going to, like, understand that Artemis has necessarily died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point he'll figure out he might not see her again because
Yeah.
she just hasn't come back. But I mean, he saw me take her out of the house, and then that's been it. So,
Well, and I feel like he hasn't been away from her that long before. You know, they've always, like, just been together.
yeah, that's true. It's never been this long.
Yeah.
It's been 5 days now.
Yeah. Wow.
But a couple nights ago, he started barking a little bit in the middle of the night, which he never does.
No.
Artemis used to.
Yeah.
But that was the first sense I got that, like, he's starting to... Anyway, I'm not opening this on the brightest of notes. But that's been, on my mind. We've been kind of preoccupied with that, and that's part of the reason that we didn't have... that's the reason we didn't have a show on Friday. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Patreon questions. We have several from... Part of the reason I want to do Q&A tonight is... sorry, we always do Q&A. Part of the reason I want to do Rapid Fire tonight is because we have quite a few Patreon questions from last month that we didn't get to because we didn't have shows much last month.
Yeah.
And so we'll try to knock all those out tonight. I've already opened up the post for this month, and we got a few there also. So we might catch up, especially if there's not much in the way of comments live. And we might save some of those. We'll just see what happens. We'll play it by ear like we always do. If you happen to be watching live, we appreciate you. Thanks a lot for being here. Feel free to leave a super chat during the show at any point, at any dollar amount, and we'll guarantee to answer your question, talk about your topic, field your complaint, whatever it is that you'd like to talk about. And make sure, if you don't want to do that, can't do that, of course, we really appreciate anybody that has ever supported the channel and does support the channel in that way. Thanks a bunch. And thanks to all of our patrons as always as well. But if you can't do that, don't want to do that, you can leave a question in a regular comment, and make sure to tag Jason with a Y.
Yes.
Because he has a Y in the middle of his name.
I do.
I took my car.
Jasion.
I took my car the other day to get an oil change. Yesterday to get an oil change, and I've talked to the guy behind the counter now a couple of times at the tire place that I go to, and no matter what I say, he will not pronounce my first name correctly. So my actual real first name, some of you guys won't know this because I've gone by Captain Logan for so long. That Logan is actually my middle name. My real name is James, spelled with a Y, and that's why Jason's name is spelled with a Y. So it's Jaymes.
Names are always better with a Y.
We got then we got J out of that. My parents called me JL growing up. My wife calls me Jay. But I usually write James on everything. And this guy, no matter what I say, will not stop calling me Jameis.
What?
Yeah. Like, that's just, he's decided that's how my name is pronounced.
Weird.
I've gotten that one other time in my life.
Yeah.
Which was in college. There was a, there was a substitute teacher that went down roll call, said Jameis, and it was very embarrassing, and everyone laughed.
Oh, really?
And I was like, "That's not my name, dude." I'm sure I called him dude. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure I was brazen.
I'm gonna call you if you're gonna say my name wrong.
That's right. Then you're just
you,
dude now.
You're just dude.
I'm sure I was brazen enough to say dude. Anyway, Jason, throw us a Patreon question, will you, sir?
Yes. This
He
is...
did not say it with an Irish accent. He's vaguely Southern. You know, pretty gruff, typical. I'm talking now about the guy that works at the. I don't mean to throw this guy under the bus. Like he's a nice guy. They do a good job there, but he just Jameis. I'm like that's not my name. So kind of your typical, I don't know, mechanic guy.
Change the name of the show. The Jameis Show.
No!
Jameis.
Anyway.
Okay.
Alex Barron technically gave us our first live question of the evening.
Yeah, that's true.
Did he say it with an Irish accent? No, he did not. And I can answer that very rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. Okay,
go ahead, Jason.
Okay. His Patreon question from this month.
What's it with Wednesday at 7?
Dude, I don't know.
I'm
calling you dude.
I really wish... Dude. He's so brazen.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
And you Jameis.
I'm not.
Okay.
I should never have told that story on camera.
We're going to do a Patreon question from Daniel Davis.
Yeah.
Daniel Davis says, "It's been forever since you made this video, but which superhero character do you now think is the most shafted?"
Wow. And obviously we've had about 900 more superhero movies since then. I did that within the first 2 years of the old Scripted Rewind show. And so that came out probably 2011. Might have even been 10. I think it was 11. So, like, you were 1 when I put that video out.
Wow.
And obviously, the majority of the history of superhero movies has now happened subsequently.
Yes.
Because when I was thinking shafted characters at that point, I was mostly thinking of superheroes that were kind of paid lip service to, where we would, and I don't even think it was just superheroes. I think it was just characters. I can't remember. I think it was just like comic book characters that are in superhero movies. So I think it could have been villains too. I can't remember though how I did that. But if we're just, he said superhero, right? Like if we're just talking about superheroes, the idea was these are superheroes that maybe don't show up enough in a thing, and or are just handled really poorly from their source material.
Yeah.
From their comic counterpart. So I was thinking much more characters that like weren't even on the screen long enough. But a lot of the things that I'm thinking of now are characters that we certainly
just done dirty.
Yeah, that we certainly saw a lot of, but just didn't we didn't handle well. Like one of the first things that comes to mind is Aquaman.
Yeah, and I was thinking Black Adam.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but see, I feel like Shazam was shafted in not having Black Adam in that movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, in that way. And some Captain Marvel fans might feel like Shazam was kind of shafted just because of the character portrayal.
Yeah.
In that, where he seems so childish when he transforms into Shazam.
Yeah.
But Aquaman, just because, I mean, Momoa's fun, and I'm like, there's good things about his performance, but that's not at all comic book Aquaman.
No, it's not. Yeah, you could go to a lot of DC things.
And also, Doomsday's a great answer. Absolutely.
Cyborg Superman. I'm Cyborg Superman.
Well, if we're going to TV, there's a lot of stuff we can complain about, obviously. I like Doomsday as an answer a lot. It gets so complicated now because it's like, can you name characters that were shafted in certain versions but not in others? Like, if they got their due,
or got shafted later.
What I was gonna say is, if they got their due well enough initially, are they off the table now? Or if it was bad once and then later on we redeemed it. For instance, almost indisputably, the most shafted character in the MCU is Blade. Yeah. Because Blade has appeared as a voice off camera in an after credit scene, and that's it.
Yep.
And his movie has been in development hell for years now, and now it seems like will probably never happen. So, like, but then he got great movies in their initial run, that character.
Right.
And then and I'm not rapid firing this because A, it's the opening question, and B, I don't know that we're gonna have a lot tonight, so
sure.
we may not even be doing rapid fire tonight. We'll see what happens if some more folks pop in. But anyway, but then there's also the fact that the Wesley Snipes Blade comes back in Deadpool and Wolverine to make fun of that whole thing, and kind of comes right back around and makes the character feel less shafted.
But yeah, also characters that were well done at the beginning and then were shafted later, like Nick Fury.
That just fall off a cliff? Yeah. No, that's...
I feel like that is a whole other question, too, but...
MODOK comes to mind.
Yeah.
There's a pretty shafted character.
Oh, man.
Elektra.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah.
Like, as much as I like Garner in that first movie, it's not that character, and then her movie is an absolute gore-fest, and is... not to be confused with Gorefest, because that would have been okay, but it was a Borefest, and again, she's not really that character, and she doesn't really get to be an assassin, and that's a real early example of not really allowing an anti-hero to be an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Okay, great, Nick Fury peaked in Winter Soldier, and that's unfortunate, because that's only a couple of years in.
Yeah. That's 2014, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say a couple. I mean, it's 5 or 6 years in, but
the first 5 years.
We got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. It feels like now in the grand history of the MCU, like immediately.
Yeah. Wonder Woman. Like you could say
in '84, yeah.
You could say a lot with I feel like
DCEU,
with DCEU,
obviously. Well, and that's another example where we've got characters that were horribly handled in the DCEU that there are good versions of in other things, right? So one of the most shafted characters in that iteration of the DC universe is the Joker. But we've had good Jokers.
Yeah.
But Leto Joker is notoriously a horrible version of that character. But it would be weird to say overall the Joker has been shafted. The Joker won an Oscar. You know?
Yeah.
Has the Joker won both an Oscar and a Razzie? Like, if Leto didn't get a Razzie for that, that's shocking. This is an excellent question, by the way.
It is.
And it would be fun to come back and do a new list.
Yeah.
And maybe do it with Austin. And that should maybe be the next lengthy conversational list video.
Yeah.
Set of streams. We just did... Now, it'd be negative again, but it would be kind of fun negative.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, I hate this movie and I hate... It would be like...
No, it'd just be like characters that didn't get their due or didn't get their due in this particular continuity.
Well, you can do, like, characters that were perfectly done. You know, that you maybe wouldn't change anything about.
Yeah, that would be such a fluffy list.
It would,
And I feel like there'd be a lot of retread in conversations we've had. Like, I feel like you'd be going back to a lot of the same conversations you had in, like, the 100 best movies.
Yeah.
And maybe not as much with worst 50, just because there are a lot of, maybe not a lot, there are good superhero movies that shaft characters. Like, for the longest time, the most popular answer to this question, and maybe to this day still kind of is Cyclops and the X-Men. Still made fun of for, in 3 movies, showing up and getting taken off the board as quickly as humanly possible. Or at least in the first movie, not getting very much screen time and being kind of shoved in the background in the final fight because he's in the Statue of Liberty. He gets kind of tied up there and doesn't really get to be in the fight because they're like, I guess optic blasts are just, they feel like are so powerful that it can finish off a scene too fast. Mm-hmm. They can take out the bad guys too quick. But to this day, that is still a good answer because it's even kind of true in the prequels.
Yeah.
If you can even call those prequels. But I mean the sequels to Days of Future Past that take place before X1 and X2 but are now in a rewritten reboot out of original continuity.
I love the X-Men movies.
These things are complicated.
I love the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
And then obviously one of the most popular answers to this for a long time was Deadpool in Origins, which I talked about in that video. But now, fast forward to now, and we have a trilogy of Deadpool movies that are some of the most biggest box office successes in the genre.
Yeah.
And so, sort of like with Professor X dying in X-Men 3, it's kind of hard for me to be like really worked up about it anymore. And back then I didn't even really know anything about Deadpool, so I personally didn't care that much. Like, I thought the character was weird the way it was handled, but I didn't know much about that character, so it didn't bother, it didn't hurt my feelings. It wasn't like that Professor Xavier death. But yeah, this is a thing we could talk about forever. Warriors 3 is an excellent answer. That's one of the reasons, thanks to the universe, that I really dislike Ragnarok. They're taken out just right away before they've had a chance to do much of anything in those movies. Like, the best Sif appearance is in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, it's really unfortunate.
Oh. Let's watch that. I haven't seen that in forever.
The universe, Tim Blake Nelson has been a shafted comic book actor. He's cast as Mole Man and Fantastic. Character gets changed in reshoots. Only gets to play the leader in full in a movie that doesn't involve the Hulk. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he at least got, if it's the same actor, he at least got okay things to do in Incredible Hulk, but then he didn't get to be the leader yet. So we set that up. Took 15 years before we finally did it.
Yeah.
And then when we finally did it, it wasn't even in a Hulk movie, and his makeup was horrible, and his dialogue was bad, and he didn't get anything interesting to do. And it felt like a Disney Plus show, because it was made by people that made a Disney Plus show.
Superhero movies are the best.
Warriors 3 is definitely one of the best answers for this. Yeah, we should come back and do a new list.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Because a few years ago now, I think I've done this where I'll come back and I'll kind of update a list from the real early days of Rewind, and I think I did that with best casting choices. But I did it when I was doing the Rewind stuff solo, but off the cuff, before I added Austin and we started doing the commentary thing. And these really long conversation lists.
You should do your favorite superhero rewinds.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Because that'll just make people beg me to start writing them again.
Sure.
Which I just do not have time to do.
Yeah.
Regularly. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk just a little bit about the Masters of the Universe trailer. I'm not going to have a ton to say about this, but I wanted to weigh in on it because it is technically a superhero thing. And it's a movie that I didn't have really any faith in at all. This thing has been in development hell forever. And so I figured it would look like a really bad cash-in. and would be the kind of thing that would come and go and nobody would be talking about. And like I figured it would look like I figured it would have bad MCU comedy to the nines, which there's still the worry of. There's still the chance it could go that way. They cut a trailer that is more promising than that suggests that it might take itself seriously enough that it doesn't do that, but that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's the right kind of balance of just, fun adventure movie. Not to get too far ahead of myself, but the trailer makes it look like, at least, and sometimes we just cut good trailers for bad movies, so we'll see what happens with it. But if the tone of the movie is anything like the trailer, it suggests that it's taking its cues from Guardians, which is maybe the obvious thing to do, but in maybe not a horribly superficial way. So what I mean is, it looks like it's trying to actually balance the drama with the comedy, and that it's, like I said, not taking itself too seriously, but might actually try to tell a story. And when we've gone to Guardians in the past, very often we do it in that Ragnarok superficial way of like there's a joke every 5 seconds and it's not actually all that funny, and it's all improvised and that sort of thing. And it also looks like Guardians just in like the approach to the CG and the spaceships. And
interesting. I didn't have that.
That kind of thing. It doesn't look as good as those movies.
Yeah.
Because I think some of the CG actually looks really cheap, and that's one of the things I'm most concerned about.
Me too. Yeah.
Battle Beast looks rough.
Yeah. And the fight stuff looks rough. Honestly, He-Man looks rough. Like.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I thought he looked kind of overly CG for no reason.
Oh, I wasn't really getting that from
when
it.
He was He-Man.
I was a little bit worried about that on first watch. I looked at it last week when it came out, or a couple weeks ago, and I looked at it today on a larger screen. And weirdly, some stuff looked better larger. I don't know how that works.
Well, we need to go to the theater then.
But I was actually more worried about Skeletor looking at it on a smaller screen, where I thought he looked too fake. And then I looked at it again. He looks pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it on my phone, so...
Yeah, weirdly on a larger screen, I was buying that better. And let me just say that one of the reasons to have a little hope with this thing is attitude-wise and just, visually, designs of everything. It looks like it was made by people that like this material.
Oh, yeah. I think
and that's neat. I wasn't really expecting that. Like I said, I was expecting, like, total cash grab stuff.
Now, here's the thing. He-Man, not my thing.
Yeah, no, same here.
I've seen like an episode maybe. I've seen the movie, the other movie from the 90s, 80s,
86, 87.
Yeah. That is one of the best superhero movies ever made, and this will never beat that. Never in a million years. But I think I don't know. I there were too many things before watching the trailer that I was like very worried about.
Yeah.
After watching the trailer, I think a couple of those things still exist, like the Skeletor casting. I don't know.
Well, that was the biggest worry. Yeah, like you said, going in, where like I wrote it off because of that. I was like, another Jared Leto thing.
Yeah.
Like who cares? The best we can hope for is that he'll be so buried it will not matter who's playing him. And I think that might be where you are. If he does anything like the cartoon voice, which would be silly, but they could maybe find a way to make it still sort of menacing, even if it's that falsetto. Even if they do that, they might be able to make that work. Well, he's not a 1940s gangster.
No, that's what he sounds like. He goes.
They might be able to make that work, but even if they don't, and he's doing more of like a growly sort of like Axelrod, Lord Zed sort of voice, he could also still kind of disappear. And especially if they modulate it and they put a lot of like, effects on it, I don't think it's going to matter who's playing Skeletor. And I mean, usually I would say even if you have a character that's kind of, caked in a lot of makeup or caked in CG, in this case, you still want to feel a performance through it. It might be better off if we can't tell, like, if the performance is largely in a computer in this particular case, which I never like to say, and maybe Letos will surprise us and somehow it will he will both disappear and he will give a performance. And like that would be really cool. I have not liked him in anything. I don't think I've ever liked him in anything. I think the stuff that he's supposed to be really good in is well before I saw him in anything.
Okay.
To be fair, and I've heard he's really wooden in that Neutron movie. I've also heard that Neutron movie is not terrible. Like I've heard good things about it, but he's not.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Supposed to be one of them. He's like but he's also the main character in that, I think. And with this, he's Skeleton. I mean, Skeletor would be the reason to go to a He-Man movie.
It would, yeah.
He's such a cool design and a cool. I mean, I mentioned Lord Zed. Like a lot of the reasons I love Lord Zed are reasons that people like Skeletor. It's just such a badass design, right? It's a metal cover looking. How can you not like Scary Skeleton Man?
Yeah. I'm also not sure about the He-Man casting.
Yeah, I'm not right off either.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So I don't know that guy from Adam, but he does. That was a joke. But he looks like, and again, it's just a 2-minute trailer. But there's definitely an earnest, kind of endearing thing to what little of his performance we're seeing. I kind of thought that he would be a big joke, especially with that premise of he's been living on Earth all this time and he's stuck at a desk job in an office. And it'll be fish out of water where he's got to go to Eternia and not understand anything there. And you can see the conventional wisdom in that kind of premise. Mm-hmm. We also have done it to death, and that's part of why I was worried about it. But what makes me less concerned about it in this particular case is I thought he was just going to be some guy from Earth that is plucked up and turned into He-Man. And when I learned that the idea is he doesn't belong on Earth but was raised here and then goes there, well, now you got a decent hook.
Yeah.
That's much better.
That's what I was going to say, because I was like, it's gonna be a Minecraft movie thing
or Sonic the Hedgehog and I was thinking Minecraft also.
Yeah, but instead it's and I get the sense that he already knows about everything.
Eternia. The fantasy world.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. Like that voiceover at the beginning, it's like, is that at the very start of the movie or is that after he's learned some stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I assumed it would be more of, this is not the exact same premise, but I assumed it would be more of a Last Starfighter kind of thing, where it's like somebody comes to him and like, you're our only hope, you have to come save us, and then the curtain is peeled back, and oh wow, there's this whole other world I didn't know about. But the difference is, it's much more classic hero's journey in that you're chosen. And that has this too, but like, you're from this place, you're chosen, you have no choice. It's like Hercules, right? Like, it goes back to antiquity. It's like you're raised not realizing you're part god, and then it turns out that you have this whole heritage you didn't know about, and a duty to go deal with it. And so now you've got a lot more potential for cool classic superhero and hero's journey storytelling, as opposed to your kind of cookie cutter throwaway, really typical Hollywood fish out of water thing.
Yeah.
And also, in a way, it has that in common with Guardians also, particularly the second one. Yeah, where it's like, true. You didn't realize your dad was a god, and so again, this whole heritage that you didn't realize that you're connected to. That whole thing. So that's a good in if you're gonna set it in present day and have it related to the real world at all. I didn't need that. I kind of think it'd be cool if it was just a if it was just a fun fantasy adventure movie that's set all in its own world and it could be completely escapist and not touch our world at all and not have to deal with any kind of like 21st century social commentary. But the social commentary that looks like is there could be smart and could be kind of fun and fresh, and also a little tongue in cheek. Because and like I know I'm getting a lot out of a 2-minute trailer, and we'll see if the movie really runs with this. Like if this is what we're really exploring. But the idea of a man trapped in corporate America that escapes corporate America into a world that was created to be a toy commercial is hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know what they'll do with that. Because what I couldn't get from that trailer is Eternia a real place that somebody found out about and made action figures out of in the reality of this movie? Mm-hmm. Or is that sword, when he goes to the museum or the store or wherever that sword is that part of a display that's like a generic made up for the movie pseudo He-Man thing? Mm-hmm. Or does He-Man exist in this world? Because some of the viral marketing for this has been about nostalgia, 80s throwback, Saturday morning cartoon stuff. Mm. And when I saw that, I was immediately like, oh, they're just gonna sell this thing on 80s nostalgia, and there's not really gonna be a story here. Yeah. And then I wasn't getting as much of that from the trailer.
No.
So that's kind of inherently baked in. Because I was worried with this that you're kind of too late to do a Masters of the Universe movie. Especially if you're just gonna bank on nostalgia for that period, because everybody that was there is in their mid to late 40s now.
Yeah.
He-Man was a little before my time.
Yeah.
And I'm already 41.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, you could say, well, it's mostly middle-aged people that go to the movie theater now, and that's mostly who you're selling to anyway, except for your occasional Minecraft phenomenon, that sort of thing. Like a lot of your generation and later isn't even really paying that much attention to movies. And there's a lot of talk that a lot of kids these days, because of TikTok and stuff, won't even sit through a whole 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And so, did this even need to be a thing that would appeal to children and families? But it looks like it might be kind of accessible.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody will give it a shot, it looks like it might work on multiple levels. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was a little surprised by it overall. I think there's real potential in it.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see. I'm not super excited about it.
Yeah,
because I don't care about He-Man. But
me neither. But I'm more excited than I was, because you got to admit, we don't do a lot of fun fantasy adventure movies anymore. That's true. And it does look like it's really steering into that. It is. And if I'm gonna read or watch a fantasy story, I like science fantasy stuff a lot better than just sword and sorcery fantasy. So as soon as you got magic, but you also have spaceships, I'm immediately more interested.
Sure.
Like that's because that's also like superhero comics too. And so I feel more at home with that kind of thing. And He-Man always had that, but like I said, it was a little before my time, and I've never been, like I said, not a sort of sorcery guy, but I've also never been a big fan of like barbarian type characters.
Yeah.
And I don't know if He-Man exactly counts as that, but he looks like that.
He looks like Conan,
where he's missing a shirt, and he's got the he's got straps, and he's got a sword. He's got kind of a loincloth thing going on.
Yeah.
The actor, like I said, I think he looks like he's going to carry that movie, but I also think he's too small to be He-Man.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they shouldn't have done a Lou Ferrigno type thing with it and had a different actor actually playing He-Man. And, like, I know we don't do these sorts of things anymore, and everything is just buff people up to be CG, but hear me out. Because when you go back and look at what little I know and remember about that show, You should though watch the early 2000s reboot because it's fantastic. What I've seen of it,
Mm.
that would be your homework to do before you go see this movie because that
Okay.
stuff's awesome.
Okay.
And the animation is dynamite. I forget what that show is called. I mean, it's something Master of the Universe, but I forget what the exact title is. People will know what I'm talking about. There's only a couple of these things. It's not like Transformers where there's like 20 shows.
Transformers.
But if you go back and look at that original show, Prince Adam and He-Man don't look the same. Like it is that Shazam thing. Like he morphs into He-Man. He's all I have the power, and then now he's like towering and muscular and looks 15 years older, and like they could have done that
Yeah.
because I think the guy they got, like. He's working out. He's doing his job. He's as buff as that guy will ever be, but he's not. He-Man. Like you want a Schwarzenegger physique
Yeah.
for that character, and you want somebody taller. He just doesn't look big enough.
See, but would you rather want?
But he looks good for the Prince Adam part of it.
Would you rather have? Yeah, I think he does. Would you rather have a good physique or good acting?
Well, definitely good acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally look past that. That's whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and like the same thing you said. You mentioned Wonder Woman earlier when we were talking about shafted characters. Like I always thought Gal Gadot was horribly miscast, and not just because it's odd to go with an actress that has that accent, but like she's too small.
Yeah.
But if her performance was great, I could look past it. And I personally think her performance is a lot better in the first Wonder Woman movie. And so with that, I did to some degree look past it. But in BVS, I was just like, what are we doing?
See, I think she's too small for Wonder Woman, and I think she is not a good actress. So,
You're not wrong, but she surprised me in that movie. My standards were very, very low at that point. Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. I'm sorry. This is not actually related to what we're talking about here. Let's see if
that's a $5 super chat for this.
Yeah, let's read that one first. We'll come back to you, Senior Sticks.
Okay,
Go ahead.
and cons guy.
Oh, sorry. Let me get my gong.
$5 USD.
Yeah.
I thought of Superman when I heard he was on Earth, but was from another world minus the dead planet.
He was from another world minus the dead planet. I don't really understand what he means.
It's like Superman because he was sent to Earth.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just thought he was some guy.
Yeah.
And then somebody would like turn him into He-Man.
Imagine they did that with Superman. That would be horrible.
Oh yeah, that would be really bad.
That'd be really bad.
Well, and then it wouldn't even be Superman anymore at that point.
No, but he'd be some guy who they turn into Superman.
But like, how do you get Krypton or any of the lore in there?
I
Like,
know.
what even is that story?
No, he goes to Krypton because it's not blown up.
Well, see, this is interesting because it's and I think Austin's made this point. It's the exact flip of the '87 movie, where and as soon as I saw we're going to Earth at all, there was that worry of how much time we're going to spend on Earth.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, it will be less than half an hour. It's pretty clear they want to go to eternity and stay in eternity. Like I think we will. Doesn't everything about this feel very 90s? Like it's interesting that they're banking some on 80s throwback just because that's what the original material was. The actual attitude and approach and tone, we're talking about this a lot longer than I was going to, and tone of the project so far actually feels like a 90s movie. It's like if we had made this in 96, 98.
Yeah.
Where you have that structure where you're sort of like a Neo in the Matrix or something, where you introduce your like lonely doesn't know what to do with his life, is kind of floundering protagonist in your first act, which is a half an hour or less, and then you introduce his kind of boring, lowly status quo, and then you get him out of there real quick.
Yeah.
And then you get going with your story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I hope that that's what they do. It seems from the trailer, but I also think that it seems like whoever's making that trailer knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So like he could just be pulling everything from what we have with Eternia and putting it in that trailer. But
I don't think that's what's going on. I really think the majority of that movie will actually be in Eternia, and I also think that's part of why it looks a little cheaper than I wish it did, just because it's probably a little ambitious for the resources they have. But that's best case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Is that they've got a decent script and they went a little too ambitious, and so you'll have to ignore some of the not great special effects for the sake of an overall fun movie. Like I'm happy to do that if it's good.
I just want Tom Paris to show up.
But yeah, when I said that it's kind of the flip of the original movie, I just mean that movie takes is a fish out of water story the other way, where it's Adam from Eternia that knows nothing about Earth, and he's stuck here the entire movie,
Yeah.
and then he gets a 5-minute fight with Skeletor at the end in the one cool set they built.
Yeah, the best.
This is
fight
going to be
scene
flipped from that.
where you have Dolph Lundgren. I have the power. That's the best scene in any superhero movie. Oh man, I love that movie.
I'm just glad that we got both Dolph Lundgren and Lou Ferrigno in this conversation.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, I said it tonally feels like kind of a 90s adventure film to me, but there's one other thing that I was reminded of looking at this trailer a little bit, and that's the Neverending Story.
Yeah, I had that too. I was gonna make a joke about that. I forgot about it. But yeah.
You're just waiting for
I'm
Adam
waiting
to be
for
like,
Falcor
Falcor!
to show up. Yeah.
Atreyu! That's a movie I would not actually mind seeing a remake for, because I think you could do it better.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. I was about to say, I thought you were going to say I wouldn't mind watching that movie again, and I was going to be like, I mind. I don't want to see that movie again.
John Kellencap, what about the cartoon about the kid who becomes the Thing via magic rings? Does he have the power? What are we talking about? Becomes the Thing, like the Thing from Fantastic Four?
What about Captain Planet? Do they have the power?
They do. They have the, well, remember, the power is theirs.
Oh yeah, true.
The power is yours.
So I have the power.
But again, it is nice seeing an adaptation of a thing where it looks like they like that material, where like Grayskull looks like Grayskull.
Yeah.
You know, and they
Skeletor looks good.
Skeletor looks good. They perfectly recreate. You know, I have the power. Like,
yeah, and I'm glad that's in the trailer. Like I know it's for fan service to put then like that, but I'm glad they have it.
But it's a fine line, right, between fan service and making the thing what it is, and that's what that is. So you got to have that.
We need a live action Captain Planet movie.
Elderly
Dolph Lundgren.
Well, you know, there's supposed to be like a live action Netflix show or something. I forget what something got greenlit that sounds potentially awful.
It's gonna be called Planet.
You know what else I was reminded of looking at this?
Yeah.
This looks like the antithesis, and I'm glad I'm getting to say this, because like I said, I didn't have any faith in this thing at all, and now I think it's got real potential. But it looks like the antithesis of the thankfully abandoned Power Rangers movie that was almost made, where it was supposed to be kids from the present day that time travel to the 90s.
Oh my god!
And become Power Rangers.
When did
that was supposed to happen? It sounded
no.
terrible. Yeah, I'm really glad it didn't happen.
I must have heard about
that was going to be point,
but I forgot about
that was going to be the Hasbro reboot, theatrical reboot, and then they canceled it, and then they had all that Netflix stuff that was supposed to happen, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah. And then they just stopped making Power Rangers.
And and now they're developing the Disney show, which is well into casting and stuff. So like that's definitely
have, actors for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely happening now. But
yeah,
I don't trust that at all.
Nope.
But maybe more so than that thing. But
yeah,
this just this starts from a premise where it could have been kind of that,
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
could have been that.
It's like, oh, it's this guy from the present day who goes back to an 80s cartoon show. And, like, that's sort of what it is, except it really helps that he's from there. And then, like somebody said,
Yes,
that
it
makes
does.
it sort of Superman-ish.
Yeah.
Because he's going to... I don't mean to repeat myself, but, like he's got to go explore his origins, and he's got to go back home. And
Yeah. Well, I think that's a perfect segue for more Q&A.
Yeah. Let's do that. So we'll do as much rapid fire as possible with the crowd that we have. Throw questions at us, anything you want us to talk about. We'll go quick with stuff tonight. We've got a lot of Patreon that we want to hit from last month and now into this month. If we run out of questions, I'll refresh Patreon, see if there's any new ones as well. Go ahead and hit that other super chat.
Okay.
And guys, just keep questions coming the rest of the evening. What we'll do is we'll go to the break. And then we'll come back. Jason's got a segment for us, and then we'll do a bunch of rapid fire if we've got questions after that.
Yeah. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
hit this
sir.
Patreon question, and then I'm gonna get to the super chat.
Oh, I see. Go ahead.
This is another Patreon question from Daniel Davis from last month. What's a movie that almost happened that you would have loved to have seen?
Oh, man. That's the kind of question I kind of wish I'd prepped for.
Yeah, me too, because I have no clue.
Like, I know there's a bunch of stuff. Well, the first thing that comes to mind...
Spider-Man 4?
I mean, I didn't need that. So I certainly didn't. Now, I was intrigued to see what Amazing 3 would have been.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to have that either, as not good as 2 is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most certainly. I will say I always wanted Batman Triumphant. I just want to see what that would have turned into.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that that didn't happen ultimately, because we probably wouldn't have gotten Begins the way we did. But at the time, that was a thing that I really wanted. There was a proposed trilogy, like epic sounding trilogy of early, 22nd, or I guess it would have been like late 22nd, early 23rd century Star Trek kind of prequel movies after Enterprise was canceled that almost happened. This was like the project before '09, and it was supposed to chronicle, I think, like the Earth Romulan War and some stuff right after. So it was basically like it wouldn't have been Birth of the Federation, but it would have been immediately after that happened. It would have been like the earliest days of the Federation, and it was
cool.
And it was supposed. Now it did sound a little overly prequel-y, but the guy making it, I forget who it was, but he had a really fascinating pitch, and he had the same kind of thing that Nicholas Meyer did, where he wasn't a Star Trek fan, but once he agreed to do it, he researched the lore like crazy. And sometimes people that aren't already fans actually will work harder at making sure that the thing fits in continuity and that everything makes sense. Like they take it as an assignment, and they go, it is now my job to know everything about this.
Yeah.
Not to be a fan of it, but to be a proper architect of it. Mm-hmm. And that's what it sounded like this was going to be. It was gonna be like the father or the grandfather of Kirk.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure how I felt about that part of it.
Yeah.
Just because that made it sound kind of overly prequel-y, where it's like you're going to have somebody that is going to sound as important or arguably more important than Kirk before Kirk, named Kirk. I wasn't sure how I felt about that part of it, but go look at the 50-year mission, the oral history of Star Trek. Yeah. This is chronicled in one of the last chapters in the second book of those, because those books go chronologically through the history of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. The second book starts with TNG. I think the first book goes through the TOS movies, and the second book starts with TNG and goes all the way through to Abrams.
Wow.
And it's just before New Trek on TV starts. So I think we might even have some discussion. I can't remember, but I think it came out in like 16. So I think there's maybe even some discussion about Brian Fuller developing Discovery before that becomes the absolute train wreck that it did.
Right.
But anyway, that's a big answer for me. I would have really liked to have seen that happen.
Sure. I still have no ideas, but
sorry, this is not very rapid fire.
yeah. All right, let's get rapid fire.
I almost want to do a whole show about that though, and like make a list of movies that were talked about.
But also movies that we're talking about that you would not want to see.
Well, that too. No, of course.
$2 from Senior Six.
Like for instance, I wish The Mask 2 had happened because then we would have never had The Son of the Mask. Even if that movie was bad, I would have rathered bad Jim Carrey Mask than whatever that nonsense was.
Wouldn't he have refused to do it though?
No, it was greenlit. It almost happened.
Was it really?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
you know about this because there's that famous thing that AVGN brings up about a contest in Nintendo Power that was giving away a walk-on part in, or maybe just you got to go to the set or something for The Mask 2. So like,
what?
That movie
I didn't know about
that far in development that they were giving away a walk-on part for it.
Weird.
So Carrie must have signed on at some point.
Yeah, no, I did not know, or I didn't. I forgot about that. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
$2 from Senior Sticks. Can we get a Joker trilogy? And any ideas why no Blade?
Well, yes, I have lots of ideas for why no Blade. I don't need a Joker trilogy. I assume he's saying that. I assume he's talking about the Joker movies that were made already.
And then a third one.
And then a third one in a sequel to now one of the most notoriously hated movies and worst performing.
That would make $2.
Yeah, no, that's a really bad idea. Is this just Senior Six? I don't mean to call you out or throw you under the bus when I say this, but is this like like with respect, is this like an OCD thing where it's like just movies must be in trilogies? Like we've got to have a third one. We had two. There must be a third one.
That's whoever made the Venom movies.
Senior Sticks, do you like that second Joker movie, or do you want a third, or are you just talking about some other trilogy of Joker movies?
New Joker trilogy.
I don't need that. I'm fine with Joker never being the protagonist in a thing again. Like,
yeah,
that's fine. Just because you're horribly violent, vicious killer antagonist is really popular doesn't mean he needs to be the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people are fed up with the Joker being the villain in things still, where they're like, we've had enough Joker, we don't need any more of that. I'm not necessarily at that place. I'm open to more good Joker. I'm burnt out on him in the comics.
Really?
Just because nobody writes him funny anymore. Like, nobody has fun with him anymore.
That's sad.
We're too...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit better more recently. Sometimes we have a sort of funny joke, but more often what happens, and it almost is always out of continuity, but the focus we have with Joker these days is one of two things. We're either working too hard to make him horrifying.
Yeah.
And I like more subtle horrifying Joker. You know what I mean?
Sense.
Where he's horrifying because he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So, like, he's funny and he's off-putting and he'll maybe put you at ease for a second and then all of a sudden he'll, like, murder your whole family. Like, that's what's scary about the Joker. Or what we'll do with him is we'll get really self-serious with him and we'll turn him into so much of a deconstruction of Batman that we lose... like any fun in the character.
Is Absolute Joker really good though?
Like he's closer to that second thing I just said, but he's interesting.
Okay.
He is really interesting.
Okay, great says Son of the Joker. Alex Barron says Joker 3, man slowly dies in hallway.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing is you can't make a third movie because spoiler alert, he dies in that hallway. But so that's why I was wondering, is he just making a joke because it would be really funny to try to come back and do a third movie when we've killed him already?
No, like, that's the movie. No, that's the movie. Is
2 hours of him just bleeding out in a hallway? It's a prequel.
The third one is a prequel.
The third one's a prequel. It doesn't even have Joaquin Phoenix in it. It's just
To Joker?
yeah, it's just that character as a 9-year-old.
Isn't that him becoming the Joker?
Yeah, and then
So what?
It's a prequel with that character at age 9 just being awkward.
Oh no.
Well, think of all of the popular. I mean, that's not popular anymore. But think of all of the popular film series that we've done this with, where we've got to make prequels to scrape the bottom of the barrel, where there's no story left to tell. So you got to go backwards, even if there's nothing left there.
It reminds me of.
We did it with Harry Potter. We did it with Lord of the Rings. Like we've done it with we've done it with everything.
It reminds me of but that reminds me of those YouTube comments that are like, legend has it he's still dying in that hallway.
That's really funny. Okay, what else you got?
I have a...
Give me one more before we go to break here.
Patreon question, probably.
Oh, Xander Six even said Joker prequel.
Killer Moth returns.
Yeah.
What is a status quo for a character that you just can't stand? I hate how big that dang Bat family is.
That's funny. I don't mind that. Like, it can get obnoxious if Batman's kind of got too many proteges and stuff. I kind of get what you're saying.
And if he gets sidetracked, it's like.
But I'm fine with a lot of vigilantes that work with Batman, like some that get along with him better than others, all in the most corrupt city in the country. Like, I get that. Mm-hmm. And also I just happen to like a lot of those characters. That's a really interesting question though.
Yeah.
Like bad status quos.
Good question.
Well, like this is the easy go-to answer, I guess, right now. But the honest, and then I could probably come up with a couple of others. The honest to God answer.
Anything in Marvel.
No, that's not fair. But the honest to God answer is just Marvel right now. No. The honest to God answer is too many Spider-Men running around.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Like, to your complaint about the giant Bat family, what about Peter Parker is made less special by everyone and his dog having spider powers?
Dude, the Bat family, they at least have different names. Like, they're all Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like a lot of them are not Bat offshoots, and the ones that are don't make Batman less cool.
Yeah, because you have like Batwoman, Batgirl.
Batgirl, yeah,
that's like it.
But they tend to go off and do their own thing, and then at the best end, they have his blessing, and at the worst end, it's copyright infringement.
Yeah,
but with Spider-Man, it's Peter Parker's not good enough anymore. We've spun our wheels and not let him grow up, and we keep regressing his age, and we won't let him stay married and all of that for so long that the only thing we can think to do is to, and this was Dan Slott and his infinite wisdom, the only thing we can think to do is spread out in the multiverse and have a bunch of other spider characters with powers, and maybe some of them will resonate with different readers. And so we make the whole thing about just this big, diverse cast of different kinds of characters with spider powers. And some of them are cool and interesting, certainly. But Peter Parker's been completely buried through all of it. And that's part of the reason now that we still really won't let him evolve in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what else.
Yeah, well, and I can go to Star Trek again.
Yeah, is it specifically superhero?
And I can say I hate the.
Oh yeah, for a character.
Yeah, well, he said character, but I was gonna say real quick, I don't like the new Trek status quo of.
I don't like any of the new Trek.
I know, but a lot of that's the problem is not status quo; it's bad writing and crap.
Sure.
But what I was gonna say is. the later seasons and now that new show Academy, the 32nd century thing with everything after the burn, I hate that status quo. That's awful.
Yeah, I didn't watch any later Discovery. I don't know
where the
how bad that is.
Well, the idea is the Federation was completely destroyed, and like now we have to have characters from
whole the seasons about that.
We have to have characters from the 23rd century show up to teach the future how to be optimistic again.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
And like, if I bought that those people understood Star Trek and they already had an optimistic future, and then the whole idea was we ruin it later and we have to pick up the pieces, I could maybe see it. There's maybe a show in that. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to get excited about that because that just seems like an excuse to, get dark again for no reason and to do post-apocalyptic Star Trek.
Yeah.
Or like, there's a cool challenge in there if you want to make actual Star Trek, where how do we keep it Star Trek after post-apocalyptic? Mm-hmm. Or like after an apocalypse. But what they tend to do is go to that kind of stuff so they don't have to tell Star Trek stories.
Right.
While they're still sort of pretending like they are. That's the problem with that. Anyway, but that's... My head's in a Star Trek place right now.
Sure. My head wants to be in a Star Trek place. I gotta watch some Star Trek.
Oh, you know what? You know what's another status quo I don't like?
Yeah.
The current... Now... It's gotten better. The new team on IDW Ninja Turtles is dynamite. Read 13 and 14. They're really, really good. And I'm shocked to be wanting to read that book again. I dropped it. I wasn't going to do it. I saw a review and I went, fine, I'll try it. And then I ended up really liking it. And even Freddie Williams' art on it, it's right for that material. I'm even liking that.
Wow.
But the Ninja Turtle status quo of a mutagen bomb goes off and a bunch of people are mutates and they all have to like make their ragtag makeshift city, like tent city in the middle of New York. I don't like that status quo for Turtles. I think I'm to the place where I don't like a turtle status quo where they're out in the open. I feel like it's hard to keep telling good stories. It's sort of like characters that need to keep a secret identity and that there's nowhere to go after.
Yeah.
Like... I
feel like that happens quite a bit.
Like when we did some interesting things with Daredevil, but eventually we even had to retcon that. We even had to reverse that. Like, once everybody knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, everybody knows that Clark Kent is Superman, like, what can you really do with the character long term? Mm-hmm. And so Ninja Turtles kind of has this problem. Once you go to an Out of the Shadows plays, it's like, what else is there really to do with them? And we tend to spin our wheels after that.
I have an answer.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Beyond the Grid. And also Prime.
I kind of thought you were going to... Yes. Well, Prime is the worst status quo for Power Rangers.
But, yeah.
That status quo is, there's no Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And Power Rangers are thought of as bad and they're illegal, and then you make a team... that status quo is the Altarians have taken over Earth for 100 years or something, or however long it is. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like that status quo either.
Because the status is not quo.
The status quo of Eddie Brock has never met Spider-Man? Does that count as a status quo?
Yeah.
Great question.
That is a good question.
If I've never been asked that in 17 years, I'm impressed. Because that's a cool question.
That's a cool question.
All right, everybody, we're going to go to break now. Thanks a lot for joining us. In the second half, we're going to do some more rapid fire. And before that, Jason's going to do another fun music segment. So look forward to that. And then I'm going to put Jason on the spot right at the end of the show.
Yeah, I don't even know for
with our
what.
last segment. I'm excited to do that. He has no idea what we're doing yet. You'll just have to find out.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll see. No, we'll see.
Okay, good.
We'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for being here. And we're back. Welcome to the second half of tonight's edition of the Captain Logan Show. We're going to do some more Q&A a little bit later. We've already done quite a bit in the first part of the show. I don't know if we can call it exactly rapid fire, but we've answered some questions. And more than we usually do.
Yes.
In the first half. Once again, if you would like to leave a question, you can do that by way of Super Chat, and that guarantees that we'll do it, whatever you want to talk about. Or you can leave a regular comment with a question, and we'll try to answer a bunch more after Jason does his music segment. And Jason, are you reviewing something? Are you doing a list? What are you doing tonight?
No, it's time again for my 4 album recommendations of the month.
Is this a thing we do?
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Oh, was it always 4?
Yeah, it's always 4.
Oh, I missed that number.
Yeah.
Or I forgot it was
Yeah,
that
it's always
number.
4.
It's always 4.
I don't know why 4, but...
All right.
So, these are
He's
albums...
going to recommend 4. And are they always from different bands?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're from different bands,
Okay.
and they're albums that I have that I've gotten into recently that I recommend to you because they're awesome. My number
music.
1 on the list is probably the most related to, like, this channel that we've gotten. It's Oingo Boingo's Dead Man's Party.
Why is Oingo Boingo related to the channel?
'Cause he's-
in what way?
Because it's Danny Elfman, and he did Batman.
Sure. Yep, that's
So-
true. That's true.
Probably, yeah.
I always forget that's who that is.
I know, and it's awesome. So I went through their discography this month, or I guess last month, January, and they're actually really good. It's some of the best, like, 80s new wave stuff I've heard. Like,
Interesting. I've never listened to that.
yeah, and Dead Man's Party is their most popular, but also the first Oingo Boingo stuff I listened to. Also, very silly band name.
Yes.
Like, very silly band name. But it's very happy with kind of sometimes depressing lyrics, so TMBG-esque.
Okay.
And
Is it melodic like that?
yeah.
Oh, interesting. I should listen to that then.
I really like it. I really like the instrumentation. I like...
Does Elfman sing a lot?
Yeah, he sings.
I didn't know that.
And he's a really good singer. And yeah.
Well, you know that from Nightmare.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
That he's the singing voice of Jack Skellington?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He didn't want to do it, and the actor that they hired to do the speaking voice couldn't sing.
Okay, yeah.
And they needed Elfman, like, it kept... if memory serves, the story is Elfman kept doing, like, examples to show how you'd match him. And then
they were like,
well,
do it.
That's going to be you then, because you know how to do it.
It might be weird going back
Sounds
to
good.
that after listening to so much Oingo Boingo then.
Yeah, I didn't know Elfman was the lead singer of the Animal.
Yeah, he is. And, yeah, and all of their songs are, like, over 5 minutes long. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
John Kelling, just because I don't want to get too far away from it and forget about it, John Kelling mentioned
Yeah.
that Catherine O'Hara died.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. That's really sad.
It's really sad. And the same day that Artemis died, too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we already had that, and then...
I didn't
later
realize
that
it.
day-
I think I heard about it a day or two after and
Yeah.
didn't realize that had happened on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, shortly after she showed up in the John Candy documentary, which you need to watch because it's wonderful. But that means that was probably one of the last things she shot anything for.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, that's really sad.
Wonderful comedic actress.
Yeah.
And everything I've ever read about her, she sounded awesome to work with.
Yeah. And she's a great actress.
Anyway.
Uh,
But yeah, did you have anything else to say about
No.
Oingo Boingo?
no, but go listen to it.
I will. On your recommendation, I will absolutely do that.
My number 2 is this album called Lula Divinia from the band Shiner. This is a 90s post-hardcore rock band from here, from Kansas City. And they play around a lot with, like, different time signatures and stuff, and they have a really cool sound.
I never heard of that until you mentioned it.
My music teacher turned me on to them. And, some just pretty good 90s harder rock.
Jason's taking a history of rock class right now.
Yeah.
At the junior college.
That's awesome.
From the same guy that you took a jazz class from last semester.
Yeah. And his tastes are very jazz influenced. So
yeah, I bet.
He, like the first day we came in, he was playing this guy who was making rock music, but he was originally a saxophonist. And so it's like, okay, that's cheating. But and then at number 3, I have the Specials debut album. This is a late 70s two-tone ska band. And
not to be confused with the James Gunn film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And they're awesome. And that album has one of the best last tracks on an album. I love. I don't remember what it's called, but it's really good. And then yeah, go check it out.
Is the name of it on the ceiling?
I don't know. I don't know why I looked
trying
at
to find it.
And then number 4 is a band I found like very recently, and it's my new favorite band.
What?
They're insane. They're insane. So it's this band, like no one knows about it. Like literally all their stuff is like hundreds of views.
Oh.
It's this 2000s band called Bad Haggis. It's a rock band.
How Scottish are they?
The main instrument is bagpipes.
Oh, no!
And it's the coolest freaking thing you've ever heard.
So, somehow, when you said insane or crazy or whatever you said,
yeah,
I immediately knew it was going to be some kind of eclectic European thing. Like, immediately, I knew it was going to be like, who's Start Wearing Purple?
Oh yeah, Gogol Bordello.
Gogol Bordello. Yeah, I was like, are they as crazy as Gogol Bordello?
They're maybe not as crazy, but they are definitely out there.
Are they as crazy as that pirate rock band?
That's also crazier, but
what is that?
That's Hailstorm.
Hailstorm. I'm sorry.
Hailstorm.
Not
Hailstorm.
Not Hailstorm.
Yeah.
Hailstorm. Hailstorm is great.
I was just listening to them.
Oh, Mexico.
Yeah, I was listening to that song.
That's a great band. But we're talking like 10 albums, and they keep to this pirate shtick.
I know.
The whole time.
Yeah.
You'd think at some point they'd deviate from that and they'd get sick of it. No! They have been pirates for years.
But yeah, what's interesting is, like, the lead singer of this band, like, so most of this stuff... So the album is called Trip. It's from 2000-something.
It sounds like you're going to go on one.
Yeah, you are. You're going to go on a trip. But yeah, you should check it out because it's crazy.
I will. This is an awesome sounding list.
I'm going to send you a song from them.
But I also recommend Hailstorm. Everybody check that out.
Yeah. Check out the album that Mexico is from.
Yeah, I don't know what.
2017. I don't remember what it's called. It has a long name. It has a very messed up song on it, but
they sing
the rest
a lot
of it's
about
good.
getting drunk.
Yeah. But yeah, it's mostly instrumental stuff. But every once in a while they'll have a track with lyrics, and the main guy doesn't have a Scottish accent. he's and the lyrics are a lot more like kind of hip hop influenced, which is interesting. There's a lot of influences, but the last thing I want to say about this band is the bagpipe player is the most played bagpipe, or the most recorded bagpipe player in the world, or at least in America.
That doesn't sound hard.
No, but he played on Braveheart.
Oh.
And he played on Titanic. So
he goes back that far?
Yeah. So
he didn't play on Spock's funeral of being a Wrath of Khan, did he?
No, he didn't. But
I wonder who that bagpipe player was.
But it's that guy.
Can you imagine, though, if you had that distinction? If you were in the Guinness Book of World Records for most recorded bagpipe artist.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, it sounds like you're just putting words together.
Yeah.
Alex Barron, both of you do your best Scottish accents.
No.
Holy crap, Batman! Holy crap! Anyway.
So yeah, that's those are my 4 albums. Go check them out.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
I'm interested to check out all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easily your most interesting sounding list so
You're
far.
wondering now. That's what that song's called at the end of the specials.
Was it on the scene? Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
It was up here?
It's up there.
Okay. Throw some more questions at us.
Okay.
And you guys in the comments throw some more questions at us.
Here's another $2 super chat from Senior 6. Best estimate, how long till the Venomverse movies?
He's just really on about not good franchises. I want to think that'll never happen. I want to think that there's been enough turmoil behind the scenes with the poor animators with Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But you know what my worry would be? There are lots of good potential spin-offs from the Spider-Verse movies, and there was supposed to be a couple of TV shows on Amazon Prime. Like, the closest thing that we've gotten, it hasn't come out yet. It's about to, I think. But the closest thing that we've gotten is Spider-Noir, which is live action and not really connected to that.
Right.
But like, there were supposed to be some animated things. I wanted to see, a couple of characters get their own things, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I could totally see Sony in their wisdom saying, when those are over, that's the spin-off.
Yeah.
This is the stupid Venomverse thing.
Oh, man.
Especially because they seem to buy into Marvel's comic hype about how important and popular Null is.
Yeah.
And so I could totally
man.
see them doing a trilogy of Venomverse movies with Null at the center.
I mean, we already finished a Venom trilogy. I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah. How do we live in the inevitable future now?
Yeah.
Where Venom, of all things, has a trilogy without Spider-Man. I mean, it's weird enough that things like Madam Web even exist, but the fact that there's a Venom trilogy and that they get like less watchable as they go, I don't know. And that, like, we have, some people like this, some people don't, but I guess I'll have to say this is an opinionated statement, but like, we have a relatively solid Deadpool trilogy.
Yeah. And then
a Venom trilogy
Venom
that
trilogy.
doesn't work from the start.
Right.
Neither of these things should exist.
No.
For similar reasons, actually. Because, now, at least Deadpool was always tied to X-Men.
And
like, it kind of goes off on its own, and from the beginning, it looks like it's kind of in its own X-Men continuity, but at least there's X-Men characters in it,
and they both got horrible versions in the late 2000s.
Yes!
In the main franchise.
So they don't even spin off into their own things.
No, because
characters spin. They don't even really spin off. They
get new versions.
They're retooled. It's a like rebooted version of a side character that becomes the protagonist. And with both of those examples, Deadpool and Venom are both really popular, obviously, franchises in their own right in comics that start as supporting characters or villains. And so in some ways, maybe it was inevitable, I guess, on the Deadpool side, if you can get the studio to understand the hype with it.
Yeah, which they did.
I think the internet always understood that those could do big guns if only they were made. They were allowed to be made the right way, to be made at all, and then to be made the right way. And that's still not how I would have done them, but it was the relatively accessible way that people would go see them. The Venom thing does make any kind of sense. No. I mean, Avi Arad, as I've always said, turns out he was sort of right about how popular Venom was, because that movie almost made $1 billion.
Yeah.
That first one.
Did it make $1 billion, or did
it didn't, but it got close.
Okay.
It did like 850 or something.
Wow.
Like it did huge guns.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you had no idea today was the day you were gonna die. How are you poisoning me?
Well, and we honestly could look at those other Sony Spider-Man villain movies, I mean, we always lump Madam Web in there. Madam Web was never a villain, but
No.
but the other, like, you know, Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies where the characters don't actually spin off out of anything, because this is where we're introduced to them. But the others of those they made, you could almost hobble those together as an ill-advised bizarre trilogy.
Yeah. The other ones, like Morbius, Madam Web.
Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven Hunter.
Yeah.
It
was on the ceiling again.
They did, in fact, make 3 of
They
them.
did. So 6 movies in total?
Yeah.
The Sinister Six.
Yes, they made a Sinister Six.
3 of them are Venom.
Unless there's one I'm not thinking of, I think that's all of them. And then you know what else is weird? There's another example, and maybe somebody can think of another one, but there's another example of this that didn't, like Venom, make any more because it was hated and is also notorious. But there's another example of this where you have a character. Let's see if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Before I say it, where you have a character that in comics starts as a villain that is arguably popular enough to carry a film on its own. Mm-hmm. That was in a movie that was handled weird, that was supposed to be spun off into its own thing, that eventually did, but the character was completely reinvented, like with Venom.
The Dark Universe? No, what?
Catwoman.
Oh yeah, Catwoman.
This happened with Catwoman.
Yeah.
This is in fact the earliest example of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know that, but Halle Berry's Catwoman eventually came out of what was supposed to be a Michelle Pfeiffer spinoff from Batman Returns. That's why that movie gets made. It was in development hell for a long time, and then it morphed, or I should say, mutated into a ill-advised, bizarre monstrosity.
Let me look at Patreon.
Person who's yelling in the comments right now, whose name I'm not going to read, because it's kind of lewd. Yes, we already talked about Masters of the Universe at the start of the show. Captain Logan Show's a 2-hour show. We have a lead-in topic, and we talk about all kinds of other stuff. Anyway, what were you saying?
Patreon.
Patreon.
The Amalgamation.
Yeah.
What are some great sci-fi films that aren't talked about enough, or more on the hidden gems side?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm rusty.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can think of some decent examples.
Godzilla versus Monster Zero.
Well, I'm thinking of some things that at one time I feel like were talked about more than I hear about them now. So, like, the stuff that I think years ago we would have thought of as pretty mainstream, and now might be things that some of our audience haven't thought of. So I'm thinking of things like Contact, late '90s movie based on a novel. But I think that's no, it's not Crichton. Who is that? I can't think of his name. But anyway, I think that's a Jodie Foster movie. That's a pretty good we've maybe made contact with aliens. Film. It's kind of hard science fiction.
I don't think I've seen enough. Like,
I'm just having a hard time thinking of stuff that our audience would immediately go, well, yeah, everybody knows what that is.
Right. Yeah, I have.
Carl Sagan, thank you.
Yeah.
I have. Because, like, I mentioned Last Starfighter before.
Yeah, Last
Starfighter. That's maybe a little obscure for some of our audience, but
that's a funny movie.
In my mind, that's not a super obscure movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, if I've even seen a lot of, like, obscure sci-fi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sound of Thunder, is that a science fiction film? I've never seen that. Solaris I never saw. Yeah, I'm thinking of some sci-fi movies I didn't like.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like District 9, which was big when it was out, but I don't know if anybody thinks about that anymore. But I never liked that movie.
I gotta rewatch that one dinosaur movie.
What's that?
65.
Oh, 65?
Yeah.
You're the only person on the planet that loved that movie.
I like that movie. Yeah.
John Carter I never saw. Well, I guess I had a decent enough response to that. I keep wanting to throw out a bunch
That's
more,
good...
but let's keep going.
Because I hadn't heard of it, so
yeah.
Maybe you should show me that.
You should see that. That's an excellent movie.
Yeah. SS Jerry, would you make a video breaking down how to get into Power Rangers for those of us who didn't grow up with it but have enjoyed what we've seen read or played but don't know how to really dive into the series more? We did talk about this.
Yeah. Well, he's got a follow up to that. Read that too.
Yeah. My experience with the series has mainly just been Battle for the Grid on PS4, the 2017 film, the first 6 or so episodes of my.
We forgot Morbius.
No, we said Morbius.
Did we say Morbius?
Yeah, we said Morbius.
Oh, okay. Senior Six said we
Morbius.
forgot it. I thought we missed it.
No.
Morbius, Madam Web,
And Craven the Hunter.
and Craven the
It's up
Hunter,
there.
and then 3 Venoms.
Yeah.
And then that gives you the Sinister Six. I'm sorry. I totally interrupted.
Yes, you did.
Who's that guy?
SSJ.
SSG. I interrupted him. I'm sorry, SSG.
Yeah. He's played Battle for the Grid. He's seen the 2017 film, the first 6 or so episodes of Mighty Morphin. He's seen Once and Always, and then lastly, the crossovers with the Justice League and Ninja Turtles. With comics.
With comics, yeah. So, I feel like that video would be for a very niche audience.
Yeah.
Because I said recently, and this is probably in response to this, and I got a little bit of pushback when I said this, which I thought was interesting, and it made me kind of rethink possibly doing that video finally. Because I've had a couple people since I put that Star Trek stream out a couple years ago say do the same thing for Power Rangers. And this came up a week or two ago, and I found myself saying, well, the problem is, Star Trek is a thing that if you have never seen, but you try now, there's a good chance you might connect with it somewhere.
Yeah.
But Power Rangers I always saw as a thing that you had to grow up with. That, like, so much of my love for that is nostalgic in the first place.
Yeah.
That I can appreciate it on a much different and, I should say, like, lower brow level, storytelling-wise, apart from the comics anyway, because that gets elevated, certainly, in a lot of places, but compared to anything else, and I don't think I would have an in at 40 something years old or 30 something years old trying to come to this really cheesy goofy kid show.
Yeah.
Like, even if and I'm not this guy, but even if like I was a big like giant monster guy or Godzilla guy or even a martial arts person, when you're a kid, some of that is enough. Even if you think the acting is weak and the stories are overly cheesy, to pull you through it and to get you interested. And also as a kid, you can kind of fill in all the blanks in the lore and treat it as like we did say, like Power Rangers is basically Saturday morning cartoons. It's like trying to show someone 87 Ninja Turtles now when they've never seen Turtles before.
Yeah.
That's not the place to start. You go to 03, you go to the IDW comics, you go to the 90 movie. Like, luckily there is a lot of Turtles for a lot of different age groups.
Yeah.
This is not true with Power Rangers.
And you will be very confused if you go straight to the comics. I think.
Yeah, so I've kind of always wanted to try this experiment. Because I do think, at least at the start, Go-Go reads like a really good teen drama series for pretty much anybody. But the problem is, it goes to complicated lore stuff and Shattered Grid very quickly. And so I feel like it kind of leaves the character, I don't want to say character study, but the kind of character driven what's the word I'm looking for, focus it kind of abandons that for the sake of, like, comics do a lot for the sake of, like, big crossover stuff and all of that. But I've always wondered if that might be the place to get some people in. Not even Higgins, not even the start of Boom, but Go-Go. Just like, oh, there is more to these characters than Kim is the gymnast and Jason is the martial artist and Zach is a breakdancer. You know, there is more to these characters, and then, you know, show people the stories where, oh, there's actually this kind of interesting moral ambiguity to Zordon, and he is maybe like a pacifist to a fault, and, you know, all of that. But it's like, where exactly would you start, and is it even possible to get people excited about that material if they didn't grow up on it? And I'm hearing from a few people like SGS Jerry that they have, in fact, older than childhood age, tried a couple of things in it and were intrigued by it and want to know what there is in their wheelhouse in it. And I was surprised to hear that, because I always wrote Power Rangers off as a thing that you just can't get into later in life.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
But also, I know you
like
know...
the comics don't feel like they're there for people or for people that didn't grow up with Power Rangers to give them a hook into it. It feels like it's, like so many things, for those of us that were there to give us stories now where we are.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, what was I gonna say?
But also, I know you know Star Trek better than Power Rangers.
If I did it, I would maybe bring you in.
Yeah.
To help me with it.
Yeah.
And, like, I know enough to get by, to be like, if you're into this kind of storytelling or this kind of motif, this is probably the one to look at.
Yeah, it's a lot more motif, where if it's like, if you like cars, go to this, and if you like dinosaurs, go to this. Like,
well, and then,
you know,
you can tell people what the more involved stories are, like what the more involved lore is. With certain series, where, like, if you want something relatively more sophisticated and relatively less formulaic, you go to SPD, you go to RPM, you go to Dino Thunder, maybe Jungle Fury. But then the problem is, we're saying relative to everything else.
yeah.
So the complicated thing about Power Rangers is everybody that did grow up with it, a lot of people, because it was on for 30 years, a lot of people start with different series. Yeah. And that's their Power Rangers. And they don't care about anything else, or they don't care about anything before a certain date, or they maybe go back. They maybe go back and enjoy some of that stuff. No, I'm talking more like people that grew up with Disney era stuff.
Sure.
Or people that grew up with Neo Saban, where they go, I'm sick and tired of Mighty Morphin everywhere. That's not the show I grew up with, and that's a, like, sillier, not as smart show, and they get better than that later. You know, I am still inclined to tell people to watch a certain amount of Mighty Morphin before they look at anything else.
Oh, I agree.
I'm still inclined to do that.
Yeah,
but a lot of fans would not agree with me on that. And the problem is, and then my response to that, so you see how complicated this gets? Like, my response to that is, okay, where do you start then? With your show? Whatever your show is? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, so...
And then, yeah.
And then and then the thing is, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Because if you have that initial foundation, because the thing is, there's a lot of cool lore in Mighty Morphin. Or potential lore in Mighty Morphin. And that's all built on in the comics. And so if you know what all that stuff is, then I think, indisputable best writing is in the comics, and then you'll be at home with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can branch off and look at whatever shows tickle your fancy for just whatever the theme or the motif was.
Yeah. Now, would you start with Green and with Evil?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
What I would do is, I mean, like, maybe the pilot, but everybody knows what, like, that's in the intro. You don't even have to really have that.
Yeah.
I probably didn't see the pilot until Space or something. Like, you know, because I come into, and obviously it was all televised, and I didn't watch everything in order. So the pilot didn't come on a lot, and I didn't come into Power Rangers until it was well into the second season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, so that's also one of the reasons you got into Power Rangers was just cause of Zed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start with Zed. I didn't know who Rita was.
Oh.
I start with Zed.
Until season 3, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Exactly.
Um,
So it would be interesting to try to guess at what the right strategies are for different people for
that
getting
Star
into
Trek
it.
video is really good.
Oh, thanks. But it would require me to buy into this premise enough that there is an audience for that, and that it is even possible to get into this without growing up on it. The select in obviously I'll say all this again if I make that video, but the select episodes I would go to with Mighty Morphin would be if you want to just sample a few things so that you can then branch out.
Food fight.
No, you'd have Green with Evil, you'd have Doomsday. Those are the two most important things in season 1.
Yeah.
Maybe Green Candle.
I would say Green Candle.
And then you do your Zed introduction.
Yep.
In season 2, the stupid ATV race that never ends, notwithstanding. You gotta have that. And then what else? White Light you gotta have.
Yeah, White Light you gotta have, and then Power Transfer.
You gotta stop power transfer. That's a Star Trek reference.
Yeah, we're all about Star Trek and Power Rangers.
And then there's, and then with 3 you gotta have the Ninja Quest stuff.
Yep. And then how much Alien Rangers do you need?
Kind of just the end of it.
Yeah. That's kind of hard to sit through.
And then there's some stuff in Zeo.
Yeah. And obviously, throughout, there are some major, 2-parters and stuff that you want.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, iconic one-off monsters and things that you could take or leave. It's there's almost 2 ways you could approach this. You either focus on, and there'd be some overlap, but you either focus on the stuff that is really well known and shows up in the culture a lot. So it's now I know what Pumpkin Wrapper is.
Yeah. Or
now I know, to your point earlier with Food Fight, now I know what Pudgy Pig is, because I keep seeing that stupid thing's face everywhere. Yeah. But so it's do you go for that or do you go for mythology? Because if you're going for mythology, especially if you want to take a crack at the Boom comics, and if you enjoy Power Rangers at all, a lot of that I certainly recommend, particularly toward the end. It's funny, the best stuff in that past Shattered Grid is at the end.
Yeah. With the Eltarian War.
And everything after it.
Yeah.
And then when Melissa Flores comes on. Melissa Flores, who wrote a lot of the best stuff in that and then ruined it all by herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was doing, but
she's great.
Well, she was, but anyway, the most important thing to look at with the mythology that informs the comics is space.
Yes, it is.
And all of it. Space, I wouldn't even jump around. I'd say just binge it. Just watch it cover to cover. Look, there's some one-off stupid episodes you could skip, but I would have to actually do some homework to tell you which things to get rid of, because a lot of it matters.
Yeah. So there's the first half does not matter at all.
Well, that's, I mean, you get the opening.
Yeah.
That 2 or 3 parter that opens with is important.
Yeah.
And then what would you say after that? It's pretty much just Psycho Rangers and Countdown to Destruction?
No, but Psycho Rangers, there may be a couple things before that. I'm trying to remember.
Because there's stuff with Ecliptor and Darkonda. That's the thing, is there's probably, the reason I say maybe you have to watch that whole show is there are probably important beats that you need in otherwise crap episodes.
Yeah. Well, there's an entire episode in this in the Psycho era. I don't know what to call that, the Psycho arc, that is really bad. Like there's an episode in that arc that's just a horrible episode, but it's part of that arc, so it's
You gotta have it.
You have to have it. It's the one.
Are you talking about with Psycho Rangers?
Yeah, it was the Psycho arc.
Is it the one with the stupid
it's the
phone where she keeps running around answering the phone?
It's the one with the stupid Carlos episode where he's got the little girl.
Yes.
Yeah. That episode sucks.
No, I'm just thinking about Ashley with the phone.
No, yeah, that one's bad too.
That one's also not good.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting in the weeds with this.
There's a lot.
The problem with Space is it's got one of the and like some people won't agree with this, but it's got one of the weakest casts acting wise, and it's for that era anyway the most important season lore wise.
It's a really good show. It's just got such a bad
really
cast,
bad acting,
in my opinion.
Yeah. They've got their moments. Anyway, so suffice it to say, that would be a difficult stream to make.
Yes, it would.
But people are asking for it. It might be worth doing.
Yeah.
I just feel like it is for a pretty niche group of people.
Yeah. And then, like, what do you do past Zordon era? Like, that's really the question. I feel like you skip a lot of like the bad stuff. Like,
it's hard to do this without just saying, here's what this show's about.
Yeah.
Here's what this show's about.
Yeah. I would say, like, start with the most important stuff from the Zordon era and then watch whatever show you want, because that's when it
it's interesting.
Doesn't matter anymore.
It's interesting comparing this to Star Trek because the approaches are so completely different. Because what confuses people about Star Trek, and again, of course, I'm ignoring New Trek, but because New Trek thinks it's all canonical, but a lot of it just doesn't even fit together. But prior to New Trek, people were very confused that would try to get into that, going, there's too many shows, there's too many episodes, which almost seems like a quaint complaint now. Then there were 5 series, but people didn't even understand if it all interconnected, if it was even all the same canon.
Oh,
you know, sure. I used to get that from people a lot, where they're like, I don't know what to jump into because you have all these different shows, and like, do they even talk to each other? Well, yes, they talk to each other. Here's how they talk to each other. What's interesting with Power Rangers is some of it doesn't, some of it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so it's almost the opposite thing, where past Zordon era, you actually can look at them by and large as completely different TV shows.
Yeah. By
and large. Yes, sometimes there are crossovers, and sometimes a show will call back to other shows, and Mighty Morphin continues to matter here and there, where we'll go back and we'll do a reunion episode or something. But by and large, like, Star Trek is a universe. Power Rangers is a bunch of adaptations of Sentai shows that are loosely cobbled together to be considered a canon, and sometimes retroactively. Like, after Zordon era, they actually are handled as completely different continuities.
Yeah.
And then Dino Thunder comes in and pretends like they all count somehow, even though some of them absolutely cannot. And then after that, we continue to count everything in one continuity until you get to Dino Charge, which from the start says we're in an alternate continuity in the first place because we've changed the lore, we've changed the history of dinosaurs.
Right.
Like how that even interacts with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, Energems cannot exist in the same world as Power Coins and Morphers.
Yeah, I mean, you always have the the crossover episodes and whatever, but like apart from that, like, I feel like those are the only things that really kept them together, right? Because you had Forever Red, and that's like, yeah, they're in the same continuity.
Yeah.
But besides that, those shows very much stand on their own.
Well, especially because, and you also have to remember that Power Rangers is really bad at continuity. Like, it's
the worst at continuity.
It's bad at inside show continuity. It's bad at continuity connected with the other shows. Yeah. It's bad at remembering what's happened sometimes within the same show. Yeah. Well, actually, that they're okay about.
You know what's not okay about that?
But they're not good at consistent rules. Mm-hmm. What are you saying?
You know what's not good about that?
What's that?
X-Men.
That's true.
Dude, there's an episode Or the
Oh, I thought you meant the movies.
No, well that too. But the 90s show.
Yeah.
There's an episode where it's like previously on X-Men, and then the Xavier house blows up, and then it's there in the next frame. What?
And that's not even because you're watching them out of order.
No, it's not. It's just okay again.
Because that's the whole thing with that show is
Yes, it is.
the order airing wrong and all of that.
I am glad that.
Or did it air
when
wrong, or was it just
No,
like
it
later
aired
on
wrong.
they put it in a bad?
No, it aired
a bad
wrong,
order.
and then when Disney Plus first got it, it put it in the air
The
order.
air order. That's what it was.
And then when 97 came out, X-Men 97,
They finally fixed it.
they fixed it and they put it in production order. But when I first watched that show, I had to figure out what the production order was. So yeah.
But that's the thing to keep in mind with Power Rangers is that while fans are as rabid about factoids and tidbits and keeping continuity straight as Star Trek fans are, it's very loosey-goosey about it. To a hilarious degree. A lot of Power Ranger shows start with the sense that the kids that are becoming Rangers do not know what a Power Ranger is.
Yeah.
Which does not make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Because their entire life on a weekly basis or more, they would have seen giant Megazord fights on the news.
Yeah, I mean they're in different places around the world, but
Well, yeah, but
and some of them are
it doesn't matter. That would be national news every time.
yeah.
It works better when they're in a different time period or on another planet, and
Yeah.
we do that too.
Like SPD,
Yeah.
where they know what Power Rangers are because
Time Force.
time for Power Rangers.
Yeah, what do you think the most important shows are for mythology besides space?
For mythology?
Yeah. Especially with the comics, the stuff that we tend to build on the most.
Okay, here's the thing. I haven't read the comics.
You read some of it.
I've read a little bit.
Okay. So you've not read enough.
But I've read a lot of the Mighty Morphin stuff in the comics. So you need to watch Lost Galaxy, and probably Time Force, and maybe Wild Force. Although that show is not great. And then, you need Dino Thunder, and I feel like they do quite a bit with SPD in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that's what I've heard is that they do stuff with SPD in the comics, and then past that I don't know. It's more just these are the good shows,
Yeah.
rather than lore-wise. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you really want to go there, Super Mega Force.
Oh no.
But
we've talked about this a long time, and I feel like we're almost making that stream. But we should consider doing that more formally. And I feel like there's kind of a couple 3 different approaches to take with it, where it's if you just want to find that show that you'll fall in love with, here's what the shows are.
Yeah.
And if you want to understand the whole thing more culturally, here's what the shows are. And if you want to get into the somewhat more sophisticated material of the comics, here's the shows to look at to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And even with that, I can make recommendations about what you can read and what you can skip.
Yeah.
Because don't bother with Beyond the Grid.
Oh man, I want to try. I want to try to read through all of it.
Oh, you're going to be bored to tears.
No, it'll be fine.
Jonathan Ty, the reader. Can you read that super chat?
Yes. Jonathan Ty,
It's just John Ty. Hello, John Ty.
Jonathan Ty puts in a $5 super chat.
Yeah.
Why do a lot... Oh my gosh. Why did I... Okay, I'm just going to look at this. Why do a lot of Superman writers for comics not care about the journalism aspect of the character?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think some of it is, it feels dated to a lot of people, where it's like journalism is not what it was when Superman was invented, right? So it's like, as soon as you start dealing a lot with the Daily Planet, you have to figure out how to update it without it reading too contrived. You know, where it's like, obviously we still have journalism, but it doesn't look like it did in 1938. And so, and this has been a problem for 30, 40 years with Superman. Mm-hmm. I feel like even the 79 movie was, 79, 77. I feel like, 78. What am I talking about? 78. I feel like even Donner's Superman, I had to deal a little bit with how different newspapers were running.
Yeah.
At that time than in the 30s. And there's not, there's arguably not the money there was in it. If you have like exactly the jobs that Lois and Clark have, they were much more prestigious. Mm-hmm. At one time, you lived in an era where people trusted the news a lot more.
Yeah,
like you're almost immediately stuck dealing with certain topics and playing with certain social commentary if you deal very much with Clark Kent's job at all. And I think that might be part of the reason that people sometimes stray away from it. Now, I have not had that experience as much. What I tend to see more of is people begrudgingly dealing with it and going maybe a little bit too far trying to modernize it. I'm honestly, personally, okay with not trying to be too realistic about it and just owning the traditional status quo and saying, yeah, it's not especially realistic that you have a metropolitan newspaper running the same way that it would have decades ago. But that's Superman.
Is it still set in present day, like DC Comics?
Yeah, I mean, you've always had the sliding timeline, just like you do with Marvel. But you're right; like you can immediately get around it by just making it a period piece. Mm-hmm. But then you're out of continuity, and all of that. So I also see Superman stories where it's just a big epic superhero story, and Superman goes to space or he goes to another city, and you just can easily avoid dealing with that at all because that's not what the story's about, and that's fine. Like, I never feel like you're avoiding journalism because the story is much more about Superman than it is Clark Kent. But if you have a long run where you deal with Clark Kent stuff, but you're just avoiding ever being in the Daily Planet, then I can see why you'd say we're avoiding it and why that would irritate you. But if we're avoiding it, I feel like that's probably the reason.
I think the Gun movie does it really well.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not comics. But
he doesn't get horribly cynical about like the sad state of journalism.
No, I don't think it does. And it kind of has people just is awesome.
Yeah, it kind of just has people doing that job, doing their best at it.
Yeah,
it feels like.
Yeah,
it seems real optimistic about it. Where it's like, there's obviously social commentary about sorry, I've lost my train of thought. About like having to report on things that are happening outside of the country and all of that, but it does feel like those are people that are actually trying to report the news and not make it themselves or have a bias. And then it talks a little bit about bias, but you've got Lois who's trying to be like a credible reporter. Mm-hmm. With that big 10-minute conversation she has with Superman.
Yeah,
that's really great.
No, honestly, that movie leans into it. Like, that's a big part of that movie.
But you actually get to see some journalists. I guess the point I'm trying to make is you actually get to see some journalists with real integrity.
Yeah.
which we never portray at all anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the cynical part, where we kind of tend to think that they don't exist anymore because we don't see them. Like they don't come out at us.
What time is it? Okay.
We are real close to the end of the show here.
All right. I will do this last super chat, and then I'll do one last Patreon question,
Okay, sweet.
and then we can. Well, actually, no. We can do the super chat, and then we can do the last segment.
Yes, because we're right at 2 hours here.
Cool. We have this $10 super chat from this Skeletor guy.
Yeah, sorry, we can't read his name because it's too inappropriate.
Yeah, we're a PG-13
That's it.
YouTube channel. And this Skeletor guy says, "I'm a supervillain after all."
Okay, well that explains everything.
Yeah.
I asked him not to spam the comments and to write everything in all caps, and he was like, "What's wrong with all caps?"
Well, I'm a
supervillain.
It's because it looks like you're screaming at us. And
Yes,
it's scary.
It's well, it's screamy, and it looks like and you're just taking a lot of attention from everybody else that's trying to write in the comments because your eyes immediately go to the all caps. So I just ask people not to do that. I do appreciate the super chat though. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you calm down and not type in all caps, then we're totally happy to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you missed the part where we were actually talking about He-Man, but that's at the start of the show.
You can go back.
And you can go back and look at that.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Jason.
I have no idea what's happening.
Here's our last segment. We are at 2 hours, but I figure we'll go ahead and do this real quick anyway. I'm gonna give you let's say 5 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see how much of this you can do in 5 minutes. I'm just curious to see how many MCU movie titles you remember.
Oh, I remember all of them.
Do you remember all of them? See, I'm curious to know to see if you remember all of them.
I think I can do. Okay, how many are there?
I think there's like 31.
31. Okay. Look, can we make sure?
Yeah, let me do it.
Yeah,
let me do it.
yeah,
let me do it. And then you're gonna have to not look at comments
I won't.
while we do this. Give me just a second.
Do you have to do them in any order? Do I have to do
No,
them in
no,
order?
no,
Okay,
certainly not.
Okay. I'll try my best to do them in order, but I'm gonna mess up on like the fourth one. So.
Oh no, there's 37.
37.
I don't know why I was
Okay,
thinking
37.
31. Yeah, 37. And
The Sinister Six. Okay, 37. Okay.
yeah, and just movies, so you don't have to do Disney Plus shows and all that.
WandaVision. Okay.
Yep, that is one. That's true.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna drop comments while we do this.
All right.
So guys, we're not actually looking at the comments right now because I don't want Jason to be able to cheat on this. But in 5 minutes, in fact, I'll go ahead and time it. In 5 minutes, we're gonna see how many MCU movies Jason can remember and see if he can get all 37.
I'll do my best.
Okay, 5 minutes on the clock. Ready, go.
Okay. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Thor,
Yep.
and then the Avengers, and then Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2.
You were in order, except you forgot Iron Man 2.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
Okay. Iron Man 3.
Uh-huh.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, we're at 11. Captain America, Civil War, Captain America, Brave New World, also known as Hulk 2, but without Hulk in it. And then you've got Thor, The Dark World, and Thor Ragnarok, and Thor Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, yep.
Yep.
What do you got now?
16.
16, okay.
I think. And then. Okay, and then Black Widow.
Yep.
Okay, Ant-Man,
Yep.
and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Oh, there you go.
So that's 20.
I didn't know if you'd remember that. You're more than halfway there.
Okay. Now I have to go back and be like... Oh, okay, okay, so Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame.
Yep, there you go. What?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
Oh, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Does Deadpool and Wolverine count?
Why'd you say it like that? Yes.
Because everyone makes fun of that movie, and I don't, because that's a good movie. Okay. I'm at 27.
Yep.
So I have 10 more. So, you have the, but Deadpool and Wolverine does count.
Yes.
Okay. So you have, Spider-Man.
I was gonna give you that hint.
Homecoming,
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
I did that in the wrong order, but whatever. Okay, I have 7 more. This is harder than I thought. Oh. Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What was the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
First Steps.
I was wondering when you'd get to that. Yeah.
I was trying to think of what the one after Thunderbolts was. There's probably some. Oh, we're getting to weird ones.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
I was gonna say you haven't done the
Eternals.
one-offs yet. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
There's probably something in like, cause what? It's like what, phase 3 that has like 20 movies or something. It's like, why does it have so many movies?
Yeah, there's a lot in there. I'm actually not sure what you're missing right now. Because every time I was thinking of one you weren't, you finally got to it, and now I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go backwards. What are you missing?
I'm missing 2.
You're missing just 2.
I'm missing just 2.
People are probably
just 2.
People are probably screaming in the comments. Right
I
now,
know.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you forgot this obvious one.
Okay.
I
I'm
feel like
at minute 30. Okay.
Like obviously you got all the franchises.
Yeah. There's probably
You
some.
got 4 Thor movies. You got all the Captain America movies.
Maybe it's. Dang, I'm trying not to look behind me either.
Like I said, you got all the Guardians movies.
Yeah, I did.
You got all 4 Avengers movies.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
are there
'cause you had
actually
Black
37 theatrical? Yeah.
Because you had Black Widow, and then Shang-Chi was like right after that, and then Eternals was right after that. Because that was when there was all the MCU stuff or Disney Plus stuff.
You got all the Spider-Mans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 43 seconds here.
Oh man.
What are we missing?
Sorry, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get all of them, but you're not even thinking of them either.
Oh, I've got both of them.
Okay.
Yep, I know what you're missing.
Oh man.
I know what you're missing.
Okay, let me think.
You got 15 seconds. Okay, with 10 seconds left, I will give you the hint, and they're related.
Yeah. I figured because you came up with both of them at the same time.
Yep.
Okay, wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Okay, I won't tell you. And we won't look at comments quite yet.
Are they Okay, are they both post Endgame?
No.
Or either of them?
One of them is.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you the hint that'll give it to you. The one that isn't is the one right before Endgame. That only made $1 billion.
Captain Marvel and the Marvels.
And the Marvels, yeah. Okay, that's
well,
what it was.
That makes sense. Because
that's what it was.
The worst movie on the planet.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of it either, because...
Oh my god, I hate
Captain Marvel's not good. Yep.
Oh.
Good job, though. I mean, you came up with everything but those within the time limit. Nicely done.
It's funny, because the Marvels is actually...
I feel like you did a better job at...
Still not.
I feel like you did a faster job at that than I would have. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. The nice thing about MCU is there's a lot of franchises. And so you come up with 1, you got 4. You come up with 1, you got 3.
Yeah. Man, I hate Captain Marvel, dude. That's like... I'm sorry to people who... Because I know that was $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
I think.
But remember, we didn't hate the Marvels.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright.
John Ty, $5 super chat. You would think with how bad the PR of being. Sorry for a second, I thought you meant parody. The public relations of being a reporter is nowadays that aspect of Superman would be written more often or seen as important in comics. Yeah, I mean, there's a real interesting kind of parallel to play with there, right? Where the ways in which people would maybe mistrust Superman versus the ways they might mistrust Clark Kent, or going the other way. You know, you could see a world where nobody trusts Clark just because he's in mainstream journalism.
Sure.
And he works for a company that might be owned by people with ulterior motives that don't want you to talk about certain topics or want you to put a spin on certain topics a certain way. You know, that kind of thing. But he could still live in a world where Superman has proven himself time and time again, and most of the populace totally trusts him, even though he's got all these powers and could take over the world if he wanted to. So that's maybe an interesting story to tell about Superman. But yeah, just a thing I haven't really thought that much about.
Hi, DJ.
Is DJ in the comments?
He was.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, yeah. He shouted out my Willy Wonka reference.
I missed it. What did you say?
No, I can't do just two.
Oh, yes. We've been saying that constantly in the house lately.
Yeah.
I can't do just two. Good to see you, DJ. Thanks
so you're gonna do DCU now?
Right now? Well, that's not fair because we did Mania last year.
That's true.
It's probably not that hard to do. I'd probably still miss one or two.
Yeah.
And we're 10 minutes over time, so we should go ahead and finish up here. But this is a really fun show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the super chat support. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back again next week with another one.
We talked a lot about public relations.
We did.
Mighty Morphin public relations.
We went. See, I just don't think that series would sell as well.
Totally.
To 7-year-olds, you know.
Well, yeah, man.
But yes, I will seriously consider putting that Where to Start with Power Rangers stream together, and I'll probably have Jason on that, and we'll rehash some things we said tonight. But that was more spitballing how we would even approach it.
Yeah.
And we still got some Patreon questions left.
Yep, we've got some for this month. So,
did we finish January at least?
We had one more.
Okay, great. So we got close there. Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for being here, and we will see you again real soon with lots more fun geeky stuff here on Geekvolution. I was Captain Logan.
I was Jason.
And you guys are great.
My acting teacher calls me Jason.
Does he really?
Never fails.
Go listen to some of those wacky albums that Jason suggested.
Yeah, listen to
they sound great.
Bad Haggis.
Bye, folks.
I wanna take you for a ride.